I'm Kayla,
And I'm Haley.
and we majored in English for this. Alright, this week we read Triss's book by Tamora Pierce and was published sometime in 1998.
It's all very mysterious.
It's all very mysterious. Like, publishing before the millennia, you get years, you don't get days.
Yeah, it's all, you just kind of toss it out there, see what sticks, you know?
I'm gonna open my soda. Crisp.
Nice.
Okay, so I would have read this. Oh shit. Sorry. If that was just a loud noise, I hit my laptop. Okay, I would have read this book for the first read after I read Sandry's book, so that vague 2010-2011 era of my life.
Sure.
Like, I really think I must have read these books over summer because I can't remember reading them in a classroom. Because that's usually how I scope when I read a book. If I can visualize what class I was reading it in silent reading time. Remember silent reading time?
Yep.
Because, like, the Percy Jackson books, I remember reading all of those in middle school because we read the first one in my read aloud, and then I read all the others in Mrs. Fuquade's classroom. But because I don't remember, so I think I must have read these over summer because I remember thinking about the meditation technique Nico taught in the first book while trying to like calm myself down. Well, my room was set up a specific way because I'd always change my bedroom like every 8 months.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. The nostalgia, I loved some good. This was like some classic Tamora Pierce, this book.
Yeah, it was definitely not.
It was a little boring. I will say that. It was a little boring.
It wasn't just what I enjoyed from the last book.
Yeah, this one.
I shouldn't judge it from that, but
it's because half this book was a siege.
And I just don't stand for sieges.
We don't,
you know?
Listen, this podcast, we love reading action fantasy. Do we like talking about action fantasy? No.
Absolutely not. I don't know what's wrong with us, but that is just how it is.
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, this is fun, this is cool. Actually, this book really reminded me of like a combination of the first book in the Immortals and then the one short story in Assassin's Blade when they're in Pirates Bay or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Like it felt like a kiddie version of that combined with the Siege from Dane's book.
I can see that.
That's what it reminded me of.
That was the vibe.
That was the vibe. Pirates and sieges, baby. And 12-year-olds being too OP. So, the book opens. So, what happened here? The book opens with Triss having a PTSD flashback to the earthquake scene. Because it's been 10 days. It's been 10 days since the end of Sandry's book.
Yep. 10 days.
Love how in other series you're just like, it's been a year, and now it's just like, it's 10 days later. So it's
I
heavy.
Appreciate it though.
Yeah. So it's heavy summer, and Triss hears in the wind 2 men talking, and one is named Amory, like her cousin. Is it Amory? Amory?
That's how I was saying it, but
because the name Emery exists. Emery. Amory?
I was saying Amory. Amory. Okay. Yep.
Triss wants to go stand on the wall by the sea to cool off, and Doja. Wow, Doja Cat on the brain. I'm so sorry. Daja is going with her. Lark agrees to it, and Briar wants to go as well, and as he's getting ready, Sandry wakes up and joins them as well. I had to Google the lunar cycle, everyone, to figure out when this takes place. But they're in the middle of July. Wart moon is like August, and then barley moon is like September. So they're in like the thick of summer.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Together, after they have combined their magics, they hear two men talking on the wind. And I have the quote. "You heard? Like they was standing right here," Briar replied. "And none of us could do that hearing trick before." "We're one now," Sandry murmured. "Not all the way one," protested Tris. "When you fell this morning, I didn't know. And Briar stole that muffin from the cold box. My belly didn't fill up. The muff would have gone bad anyway," grumbled the boy. "We haven't really done a lot of magic since the quake," Daja pointed out, tugging on Sandry's braid. "If we had, maybe we would have found out." "Found out what?" snapped Tris. "That perhaps we know what goes on with each other's magic. We can't do the same things, maybe, but we all know what happens in all our magic." Tasha sighed. "Something complicated. Simple things don't happen to us anymore."
So true.
Yeah, so they think the men they heard were smugglers at least, and then they hear the two men kill a woman.
The drunk. What did he call her?
The drinker.
Mm-hmm.
The whiner, the gruff man, and the drinker. And then the lighthouse and the watchtower explode. I did a big hand motion. That was just for me. So then they go report all of this to the appropriate adults. The one thing I love about these four is that they succinctly report all the stupid shit they do to the adults in their lives.
Which, thank God. Thank God we finally have met some reasonable children.
Like, they're just like, we're not going to ask permission, but we will tell on ourselves when we're done. So the next morning at breakfast, it's all good and fun. Nico comes by. I love how he's described as a white man. There's this TikTok audio that's like, "A white man? No!"
That's definitely Nico.
Nico's a white man with long black hair and wears out-of-date clothes. Triss is like, "Nico, what blew up the towers?" And Nico's like, "Don't wrinkle my clothes, Triss." But he's taking Triss with him in regards to the explosion. No chores for Trissana. Nico and Triss go to the destroyed watchtower and discuss how it shouldn't have been destroyed, and yet Nico magics her glasses to be able to see magic, and while he's doing so, Triss hears in the wind more men talking in secrets. She can now see magic out of the corner of her eyes, traced in silver. Nico needs Triss to lend him some magic so he can do a big spell to see what occurred to cause the explosion. Triss's game. Love how they call it a big spell.
A big spell, and then later on they call something big magic. Like, what?
I love this magic system where they're just like, yes, the big spells, the big magic.
Yes, the big spells.
Like, I love how Tamora Pierce is like, yes, pomp and circumstance, but also, this is for middle schoolers. Nico gets a vision, and the voices Triss hears the night before are there, but now in Visage. Nico isn't sure how they blew up the building, because they really only see them just kill that lady. On the way out, Triss finds an orphaned baby starling and decides to take it home. We love more animal companions.
We do love it. But is she gonna let it go?
I can't remember. I really don't remember these books that well. I remember the later books in the series better than I do these early books. Because I really think I read like all four, because I read this when I was like 14, so in 250-page books, I probably read them all in one weekend. On the way, yeah, so Daja, Frostpine, and Kirel
I think it's Kirill.
are working on something by the wall. Frostbite is having Daja search for worked metal in the ground. They pull out a metal net. Once upon a time, the entire cliffside had been covered in it to protect against pirates. It's a spell net. But after the earthquake, the entire cliffside, I guess, fell into the ocean. So they're going to have to repair where this is broken. The net works by showing you illusion until you are too weak from exhaustion to move. Their job is to find all the pieces and repair it so there won't be attack on Winding Circle. Rather ominous. So, Daja keeps seeing something out of the corner of her eye, like a fishing boat, but isn't there when she actually looks straight on it. It's strange. Sandry and Larko help to make some bandages for the injured from the earthquake. Sandry doesn't know yet how to weave, so her and Lark are going to magic weave. And Lark is like, we'll do this, but then you're going to forget how to do it because you need to learn the actual basics of weaving, Sandry. And so then they begin magic weaving. It's very cool.
It is very cool.
Did you
read like the note at the end of the book?
No.
It's basically how Tamora came up with the idea for this series because she was watching her mom and her sister like knit or something.
Oh, no, I didn't read that. I stopped reading. I got to the acknowledgments and then I was like, okay, I'm done here. I don't know. Oh, my book didn't have that.
Oh, it was cool.
Yeah.
I mean, that was like the first sentence, and then I stopped reading. I was like, "Oh, nice." Just gave up.
I read the ebook, so I didn't have that. So Tris gets back to discipline with her baby bird, Rosethorn instructs and how to care for her new bird. Briar is in an alley eating the meat turnover. And he smells cinnamon, oil, and poppy, and sees the silver outline of a man. And Briar's just like, yeah, cinnamon oils used confuse tracker mages, and poppy oils for invisibility. And it's just like, Briar, why do you just know this stuff?
Briar is the most knowledgeable about the weirdest shit.
Briar, low-key, the smartest of the four.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, what is it? Briar is like high. Is he high wisdom or is he high intelligence? High wisdom. He's like a high wisdom character.
I don't know this stuff.
Neither do I. But does that matter? And I've actually played D&D.
But we're going with it.
Yeah. So Briar just assumes that it is a student mage because he's like, no one else would do that. Daja's still annoyed about the ship she keeps stealing and tells Frostpine about it. He tells her to try to sense it with her magic, not her eyes. And she connects with Frostpine, and he confirms that, oh shit, there is in fact a ship that is in the bay that should not be in the bay. Not good. Briar and Tris are taking care of her bird, and she tells him about the spell on her glasses, and he's like, huh, I think it's spreading, Tris. And Tris is teaching how to read and write. Oh my god.
Oh.
It's so cute when she's like, he's like, that's an A. It's all these words start with A. B. That's for Briar. And it's like, yes, it is Briar.
He's so excited. Oh.
Sandry and Lark take a break from their all-day magic weaving, and the Duke stops by to visit Sandry. He warns Sandry about pirates, and he's not gonna like what Daja found. After dinner that night, someone comes by asking after Nico. It's Triss's cousin Amory. And Triss is upset because of that family trauma. And then Amory, suspicious from the beginning.
Super suspicious.
Super. When did you start suspecting Amory? This moment?
It was probably this moment.
Yeah, so Amory,
when Triss heard the voice and it sounded like Amory, and she was like, I have a cousin named Amory, but his last name is Chandler, so it can't be him.
Then he shows up, I'm Amory Glassfire.
That's me, baby.
Yeah, so this is that moment. Amory tells Triss that her father is taken ill and might die soon, and she should go home and see him. And Triss is like, no, I hate that man. And then she gets mad and the air gets all hot, and Amory's like, oh, what?
What is happening? What is happening?
Yeah. So then Novus comes, running because all the glass and crystals in the hub have shattered, which should not be possible. Did that sentence make sense that I just said?
Yeah.
Okay.
It did to me.
That night, Triss wakes because a storm is coming in. She goes out and watches it. Something is wrong with this, and she jumps from her magic onto the wind to investigate why. And there's like a magic wall all around the shore that won't let the wind feed into the storm. 'Cause it's a fake storm.
Yep. Yep.
Frostpine wakes Daja and tells her that there's a masking spell all up and down the shore, probably masking pirates. Needs Daja's help in repairing everything so they won't be attacked by the pirates. They're going on a boat and will be repairing the chains in the water. Frostpine gets easily seasick, which makes this a little interesting. So this chain, I think, is used like the one that was in like whatever was called Pirates Bay and thrown a glass, where like they raise it and like cuts the ships in half.
Yeah, I think so as well.
But
like the description of it was extremely confusing to me.
Yeah, so I think what it is, I'm gonna describe it. So like the chain is like in the water, so like I think like because so only like approved boats can like come into shore into port. So like I'm guessing like it gets lowered and lifted up correctly for those who want to come, and they're like connected to so the chains are like connected to logs, so it's not completely resting on the seafloor. So it's a little buoyed up, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So like okay, imagine like a bay shore. And from so like a big C shape. From one end of the sea to the other sea, there's a line, so that's the chain, and interspersed along that line are the logs to make sure the chain isn't just like sitting on the floor of the bay, and instead like a little elevated so it can be easily risen up and down.
Okay.
So that's what I'm assuming how it works.
All right.
Anyways,
my mind's eye isn't quite clear on this one still, but...
Me either. That's just what I'm assuming. So anyways, they're reinforcing the metal and the magic on it or whatever. Daja uses her magic to push off a bomb box from the chain that would destroy it, and she fixes herself and her magic, and she fixes herself and her magic into like a bellows and blows it away. And the boxes collide with the harbor watcher tower and explode.
Yeah.
Frostpine uses Daja's magic to work quickly, and they blaze up the chains for protection. The illusion storm is gone, and now they can see the pirates, and they need to haul ass back to the shore. So a battle gets waged in the harbor or whatever. I don't know. Triss, Sandry, and Briar are spying what's going on at the harbor through magic. Battle stuff. Anyways, back at Discipline, they're like, what can we do? Shrug. And Sandry's gonna learn how to weave.
What can we do? Shrug.
I love the juxtaposition of, there's a battle going on in the harbor. Sandry, this is how we weave.
This morning, you're going to have a quiet time weaving. Okay.
Yeah. So the Duke's men drag home Daja and Frostpine, who are passed out hard after their big magic. So they get those two settled in and get deets about the pirates and what kind of ships they got. The soot is all over Daja and Frostpine, and it reminds Triss of something. The soot from the watchtower! So Triss and Briar are to go tell Moonstream what's up and fetch Nico. First Fire Dedicate Skyfire is there as well. Try saying that 5 times fast. First Fire Dedicate Skyfire.
First Fire Dedicate Skyfire. Boom!
5 times. Say it again. Over and over again.
No.
So it's siege time, baby! And so you know how it is on this podcast, baby.
Silence.
You will get lackluster descriptions. So, the catapults get launched at the wall around Winding Circle, and Triss yeets some of them out of the sky. And then the adults are like, no place for children. So Triss and Briar stop at the kitchens and having a run-in with this loser ass who accuses Briar of being a thief. And while that may be true, Briar respects the head cook, Dedicate Gorse. Dedicate Gorse is like, my dude, take a vibe check. you did not pass the vibe check. So Gorse is getting their stuff, and Cousin Amory comes out of the kitchen, and Briar is sus, because Gorse always knows when someone comes into his kitchen. Amory wants to move into discipline, and he's babying Triss, and she's big annoyed. The senior
Amory
majors...
fucking sucks ass.
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
You're not wrong. He is like the minor antagonist in this book.
Yeah. I guess that's true.
Yeah. So the senior majors are going to the South Gate to protect it as that's where the net has fallen away during the quake. Remember we discussed that earlier. Our young mages just stay home except for Briar. He's helped Rosethorn. And this is the point where I read these books over 10 years ago and I just realized that Briar's name is Briar and Rosethorn is named Rosethorn.
Yeah. That is how it is.
Their names like align so beautifully.
Aww.
Anyways, because Briar chose the name Briar because he thought Rosethorns were strong and would protect him, and he's with Rosethorn. Oh,
so cute.
Okay. Anyways, Daja and Frostpine drink strengthening medicine just in case. Rosethorn has a baller line that if she wants to kill someone, she does it. She doesn't try. Briar, Rosethorn, and Lark basically made seed bombs, and are gonna make like dams to keep the ships from landing on the shore. But the pirates are burning those plants. So Triss, Daja, and Sandry send magic down the line to Briar. They do it all well, but then get in big trouble because they could have killed themselves.
I just love half this book is the adults just being like, "You fools!
Stop interfering!" And they're just like, "We want to interfere!"
But we must interfere.
Yeah. So they tell Nico about the magic string. Remember the lump string? And he's like, he confiscates it. He's like, "You can't have this!
Give this to me now!"
you guys are gonna kill yourselves! Briar goes poking through Amory's stuff and finds his secrets: cinnamon and poppy oil, ingredients to turn invisible.
Dun dun dun.
And he's like, "Ooh, very bad, cousin Amory, very bad."
Very bad, Amory.
He also finds sleeping powder and a scrying mirror. And he's just like, how is this scrying mirror here if all the scrying mirrors broke?
Fucking Amory, fucking idiot. So
Briar tells Triss, but she doesn't want to believe him. I love how I wrote the word Amory, but autocorrect changed it to Synergy. Amory is sneaking down at dawn, and the two follow him. I have a quote. Huddled shapes lay all around, as far as the pair could see in the mist. Briar knelt and shook the sleeper who had tripped him. The man simply rolled over. They were all alive then, but sleeping as if drugged. Now we know why Amory was in the kitchens, Briar remarked, and why Gorst didn't see him. Amory made sure he couldn't be seen, so he could put sleeping potions in the food. A good thing we kept the food we already had, right?
If I were drugged, I would simply roll over. That was stupid, I'm sorry.
No. Respect to all these drugged folks, but me, I'm different. Triss lifts the fog up and away and confronts Amory's, and he's like, "Oh, you don't understand, I owe them all this money, blah, 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 minion bullshit." And then Briar just starts throwing knives at him?
Yeah!
And then Amory just, like, punches Triss in the face?
And knocks her out!
Well, he's, like, 24! Of course he's gonna knock a 12-year-old out if he punches her in the face! And then the pirates break. Let me redo that. And then the pirates break in, and the pirate immediately kills Amory!
Just dead. Literally so dead. Sticks his knife in, puts his foot on his chest, and pulls his knife out.
Yeah. So the pirate the pirate orders a massacre, and then Triss ignites a hailstorm, and everyone wakes up. Daja and Sandry. Why did I call her Sandy? Sandry. Is it Sandry or Sandry?
What are you really asking me that?
Sandry come running to Briar and Triss as the battle begins to rage. They put up a protective wall around themselves. I got a quote. The air filled with a powerful glow that made their magical barrier turn dim, leaving no shadows, no area where mischief would be worked unseen, no place to run. That was Nico. Frostpine and Lark revealed their presence when cloaks, necklaces, bracelets all came to life, twining around pirate arms and legs, tripping and rapping and hobbling. Swords jumped into the air on their own, to come down hilt first on pirate heads. Within seconds, the invaders were disarmed and surrendering, their hands in the air. The attack was over.
Just like that.
Yeah. I love how when we get to Discipline House, all the kids are just like, wow, Lark and Rosethorn, weaving magic and plant magic, cool. And then you find out they're low-key the most badass people in the entire temple.
I know. I love how Moonstream just keeps coming to them. Well, probably one because Nico's there too, but like, they're like the first people that they come to.
Yeah.
And everyone's like afraid of... I love it.
Yeah, so Triss is very upset that both Amory is dead and that he betrayed them. And Sandry comforts her, like she walks through like her lightning force field to be with her friend. You love to see it.
It is really cute.
So they do the recap for the adults and go to bed. The Starling wakes Triss in the morning. Triss has Amory's earring, and she's pissed at the pirates and wants revenge.
Makes sense. I would, too.
Yeah. So they have to repair after attack and make sure more don't come. Triss is experimenting with wind and flour for Sandry, and she makes tiny little lightning bolts. I got a quote. Strike, she bore down even harder with her mind, her will, and her magic. The strip reached across the space between her hand and the crossed wires. For a breath it hovered as if it were unsure. Then it leaped, airing from the space where the wires touched. There was a crackle and a smell of hot copper. Triss moved back with a sigh as Daja bent to look. Odie, log this. Daja whispered to the traitor goddess. The pair of wires were fused as neatly as if she had pressed hot iron against them. Sandry clapped. All of her sparks had died in her glee over success, but Triss had an idea. In making them big enough to act like real lightning bolts, she got a better sense of her power and theirs. Tasting lightning, she knew it in the marrow of her bones and could summon more. She did so 3 more times, melting Daja's wire together in 3 more places, so they formed without Daja twisting them together. So, the adults come back and talk about gunpowder, a new thing in our fantasy land. The siege starts up again, and Triss can ignite the black powder, as it's called. Can't be called a gunpowder, it's black powder. With her lightning. So the other, she can ignite it with her lightning. The other 3 want her to explode all the black powder on the ships, but Triss is still traumatized. So they make targets.
Sweetie, you got a big storm coming.
You got a big storm coming. They make targets for her to practice on, and Briar has her riled up for it to work. She slowly is getting a hang of it, and then a boomstone is about to hit them, and she blows it up. I love that they're called boomstones. I feel like that.
I know. Like, everyone does. Every single person in this story calls it a boomstone, not just the children. I love it.
Like, that's their official name.
It was just, like, not, like, none of them made it a big deal that she just blew up the boomstone. And I just kind of walked away. Like,
well, because they knew that she could do it. It was just getting her to do it herself.
Right.
Because, like, they all knew she had the power to do that. It's just her getting the control of the power. If that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So they try to tell the adults what they've been up to, but they're all battered, hard, and tired. More siege on the morrow. The kids eavesdrop on the adults' battle plans, and they're going to evacuate the children. Triss is pissed because this is her home. She wants to kill all those fucking pirates. So she slips out and plans to do so. And of course, the other 3 follow her. Triss gets to the wall and works herself into an anger and starts going fucking ham. She makes a wind funnel full of, like, all branches and shit and puts it out into the sea where it becomes a water spout, but it won't break through the barrier. The other three join her on the wall, and together they shatter the barrier. It's this really cool moment where they're like like all tracing over the wall with their magic, and
Here,
and
there's a spot here and here.
and they're just
It's
like,
very
that's where it is. So Dasha starts ripping nails out of wood and sinking ships. Triss's waterspout tears apart boats. Briar regrosses brambles. And Triss decides it's time to yeet her lightning ball at the head mage. So she does, but he wasn't on that ship. Triss and Sandry begin searching for him using the earring and realize all of the mages on the ships are connected, all to one ship. So, Sandry touches something with her magic and blacks out. Dasha touches another something and blacks out. And then Briar touches another something and blacks out. Triss gets to the head mage and she's going to kill him, but realizes that he has bound himself to the other three and killing him would kill them. And oh, is she pissed. I said piss. Nico pries open Triss's hand and gives her the string. Her hand on her lump. The other three, and then Lark, Rosethorn, and Frostpine peel open the other three's hands and put their hands on their lumps, and they're able to break free from the Master Mage.
Why couldn't we call them knots? I hate lump. I hate that word.
I don't think it's a knot. I think it's actually a lump.
Oh.
Have you never seen misformed yarn?
I have. I know what you're talking about.
It's a lump. It's not an actual knot. It's like a mat.
I don't want to think of.
It's a lump.
Don't like the word lump. Okay. I just don't like it.
The children and the adults all combine their power. They can cut off the Master Mage's connection to everyone, and Triss summons more lightning just for him. Then the Navy arrives and cleans up the rest of the pirates. They take 3 days to recover, and Triss is volunteering in the infirmaries, and Rosethorn is looking after, wait for it, Shriek the Starling.
Shriek.
I love it. Shriek. A week
so
passes, and Triss knows she needs to work on her control. Also, Shriek is now upgraded to bugs, and the others tease Triss into feeding him the bugs, but they all take turns. Your turn, Mama. Briar threw the next box over to Triss, so she could put her charge back to bed. Shriek squalled. Slowly, gingerly, Triss picked up a grub with her tongs. Wincing as her firm hold crushed the sacrifice, she positioned the tongs over the nestling's gaping beak and dropped the grub in. Everyone applauded. Shriek blinked, sighed, and settled down for a nap. The end. So, it was a short book. It was only 250 pages.
How it took me so long to read, I do not know.
It was just a rough read.
It wasn't the perfect chef's kiss book of the last one, you know?
Yeah, this is the book 2 effect. We talked about this very much before. The second book in a series is always a little rough compared to the first book.
For sure. I bet the next two are going to be great. Yeah, I bet I'm going to love them.
Is the next one Briar's book or Daja's book?
Daja is next.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I'm excited for that. I do feel kind of bad because this very much was Triss's book, but I do not feel like last book was Sandry's book at all.
I know. I was trying to think of why they would be called those things. I'm struggling with words. I just don't know. Maybe because Sandry tied everybody together at the end. Maybe that's why it was Sandry's book. But
maybe. Yeah, it could be that.
Yeah, I was also trying to figure out. But this definitely, was Triss's book. I feel like it depends on, what happens at the end of the book. Because, at the beginning of this book, I was like, oh, this is Daja's book. Because, Daja does that cool shit with, what's his name? Frostpine. Yeah. I was like, oh, this is totally Daja's book. She is getting after it. And then, no way.
Yeah. So the quartet of books that follows this one. So when we finish Briar's book, the next book series would be the Circle Opens. It takes place 4 years later, and each of the 4 books are from that person's point of view solely.
Oh, I think I would like that.
Mm-hmm. And then, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, so let's talk about love. There's no love. They're children. Let's move on.
Yeah.
Theme park. Found family is sometimes more important than your blood family.
Yeah. I would definitely agree. Although, I don't know, it was weird to me. No, like, I definitely agree, but it was weird to me, like, how angry Triss was at the end.
I kind of get it. I do get it because as someone who doesn't have the greatest family situation, it's like this thin line where you can love your family but also be so fucking angry at them.
Right.
So Triss is both extremely angry at her cousin for what he did, but she's also very upset that he is in fact dead.
Right.
Um,
I honestly feel like that shows that, like, Triss is, like, a good person considering
mhm.
how terribly her entire family has treated her.
Yeah.
So, I think that's saying something.
Yeah. So, that's my theme.
That's a pretty good theme. I'm trying to think. Maybe, like, control or something. Because I feel like
Yeah.
that was, like, maybe not a theme, but that was, like, the big lesson at the end that, like, Triss learned how she needs to learn how to obviously get control of her magic, or else. Because she saw, like, how many people she killed, and it really
Mm-hmm.
fucked with her. And she
Yeah.
was like, I can never let this happen ever again. So,
Yeah, we're probably definitely gonna see like the fallouts from that in Dasha's book.
I would imagine.
Yeah. Probably for all the kids, to be honest.
Yeah, they were all kind of instrumental in the deaths of a lot of people.
Yeah. So let's get to representation station. I wrote animal companions here, but that's not what that should go somewhere else. Let's move that to Night of the Living Author. Talk
Okay.
of sexual assault. Because when Rose Thorn is
I
talking
remember.
about
Yeah.
Rose Thorn is talking about growing up and how she had to deal with raiders and how her best friend was raped. And the fact that I think it's very, like, this is a book for children and the main characters are children, but it's very, the blatant talk of sexual assault is something that happens to women. And the fact that the children know that as well.
Right.
I think that's really important.
Yeah. And she straight up says the R word.
Yeah, she says raped. Like, not taken advantage or anything like that. She's like, no, they raped my best friend and left her traumatized both physically and mentally from it.
And they were gonna do it to me, but my dad didn't let him.
Yeah. Um, and then like Briar even was just like, is Briar also very he gets really upset when he learns that he could have been raped. She could have been raped.
Yeah. That's like his mom.
Yeah, Briar's like his mom. Like, yeah. Also, I really enjoy how Briar in specific, he's still trying to unlearn a lot of the trauma he had to deal with growing up on the streets.
Right.
And how even after living in like it's still pretty Spartan living that he's in, but it's compared to what he had before, it's in luxury, and he's still struggling to unlearn a lot of that still to this day.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like he is not only, like, he's trying to unlearn the bad parts of it, but he's, like, in moderation using the parts that are helpful
Mm-hmm.
to him, like sneaking into Amory's room and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
I also feel like it says something about, like, he never wanted to be a bad kid. He just, like, needed to find, like, the support system and something that, like, made him want to not be a bad kid, if that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah,
Like, he just straight up never had the means before, but then,
Yeah.
like, when he got arrested and Nico took him, he was still kind of, like, butting heads with Nico, but then he got to discipline and found something that obviously is very fulfilling for him, and, like, he can do good things. I love Briar.
Yeah. To piggyback off of that, not to say that word, but yeah, it really talks about how his options. Uh, where was he before Sora? Believe that was the name of
So
the
sad,
country.
yeah.
Yeah, his options were death or being in the gang. Those were basically
Right.
his only options because I think it's heavily implied that his mother was a sex worker before she died. I believe that's like heavily implied, if not specifically said. Is that true, or am I making that up?
I haven't read anything like that yet. I haven't really read anything about his family, but
I'm just making that up, but he is an orphan. His mother was a single mother before she died.
mm-hmm.
So, and like he didn't have a name before the Thief Lord told him that his name was going to be Roach.
Roach.
Yeah. So I think it's I really am surprised how well she's handling like the poverty aspect.
Right.
Just based on like other things I've read of hers, and is refreshing to see that like respect. I also really liked how Triss doesn't suddenly just get over her years of like abuse, because she was abused. Well, she was blatantly abused by her family, and she's been
Mm-hmm.
bullied her entire life. She has not gotten over that. She still obviously has a bunch of internalized hatred for herself that she's trying to work through.
Right.
Um, and that doesn't just go away because you make friends. It's something you have
Right.
to actually work on.
Mm-hmm.
I really
For
enjoy
sure.
that.
And I feel like even like it's still part of her motivations for why
Mm-hmm.
she like acts so rashly. I don't think she's trying to like necessarily prove herself, but I think she just wants to be like she wants to help in any way she can. And then when Amory dies, she gets even more upset because like
Mm-hmm.
he was, yeah, I said like 2 seconds ago that her whole family was mean to her, but I don't think she never really made it sound like Amory was mean to
She
her.
she said that he was the only good person in her family to her.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also, like, I really enjoy as well the fact that it kind of hammer homes the fact that even, like, when Triss is, like, scary, when they talk about how Triss is scary, Sandra's like, she's having a breakdown, and while she may be scary, I need to be her friend. And I think that's,
Right.
like, if we want to talk about, like, meta stuff, that's, like, a very important lesson I feel like children need to learn, is that, like, your friend can be very self-destructive, but you still need to, like, even to a fault, you need to make sure they're not going to hurt you in any way, but you should need to be there
Right.
for them. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And Sandra also knew that Triss wouldn't hurt her.
Right.
So, yeah. I just really like a lot of the stuff that happened in this book. I'm really enjoying the way Cassandra, God, Tamora Pierce is handling like classism, the way she's handling like sexism and racism. There's not really any racism here, but they do blatantly talk about like, yeah, there are different people of different races. That's how it works. We kind of live in our communism compound.
Right. Yeah, I feel
Uh,
like there was less talk of like social class or mainly just because we like knew everyone already.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, maybe with Amory, she could have gone a little bit more into like him wanting to have really nice stuff, but only
Mm-hmm.
having very few things.
Yeah.
But I don't know. There wasn't a lot there to go
Yeah,
off
the
of.
the only time we really like see any like actual classism happening on page is when Sandry tries to pull rank and the guards are just like, maybe try that when you're bigger.
Yeah, she didn't do that at all this book. So
No. Yeah. So, does this book hold up?
and
I oh,
oh wait, when Triss like starts trying to learn trader talk, which I thought was so cute.
yeah, how she's so like, what's that word read? I would like to know it, please.
And then later on, she's like, "Ugh, stupid Jishin," or whatever for the pirates or whatever.
Yeah.
I just love how they all wanna learn about each other's worlds.
Yeah. So, does this book hold up? I feel like it does. It's a very good
I
middle
feel
grade
like it
book.
does too. Yeah.
Yeah. Night of the Living Author. Animal companions. We love to see it. We got Little Bear and we got Shriek.
Shriek. I hope Shriek sticks around.
I think he does.
Carries messages for Triss or something.
Yeah, that's one of the things I love about Tamora Pierce is she's all about the animal companions.
Yeah, definitely.
Like,
I wonder if that's what makes each book a book. Like, next book, Daja's gonna get a pet that she finds, and then Briar will get a pet that he finds. No.
I don't think so. I can't like. There's things I remember that happened in these books, but I really can't remember these first 4 books all that well. But yeah, so anything we felt like we needed to yell at Tamora Pierce for? Anything weird she did this book that you weren't a fan of?
No, not really. I do feel like so when Dana Numer started out, right? They had a student-teacher dynamic. Mm-hmm. And there are similar relationships in this book. And I know you said none of those go there, but it's tainted now because of the dark turn that Dana Numer took. So, okay, I'll read something that's, really cute, and then I'm like, wait, no. Oh, wait, no, it's fine.
Okay, but here's the thing. Okay, we're getting into this. When I reread The Immortals as an adult, knowing what happened with Dana Numer, it was not just only platonic from the... I don't want to say there was grooming happening, but, there were multiple times where, Numer would put his hand on Dane's shoulder, and she'd talk about how it would linger on her shoulder or whatever.
Oh my god! Tamora!
And then in Wolfpack, or Wolfspeak, book 2, it blatantly talks about how people already thought Numer was sleeping with Dane.
Oh, yeah. Dude, how old was Dane?
She was 14, 15.
Oh my god.
That was a woman by then.
Oh my god. No, this is fantasy. It doesn't have to be historically accurate. Oh, jeez.
No, okay, I will pull back some of the taint. Sandry does not end up with anyone at all in any of the books.
Okay.
Do you want a spoiler or not?
How big of a spoiler is it?
You'll like it. It's not a spoiler that was confirmed in the books. Tamora Pierce said it on Tumblr.
Okay, go ahead.
Sandry's asexual.
Hell yeah.
Why
couldn't you say it in a book? We get nothing. We get
because
crumbs.
she hasn't published a book in this series since 2010.
We get nothing.
Triss, I think she dates some dude in her book in the second series, but I'm not sure if I'm misremembering that. Daja, do you want a spoiler about Daja's sexuality?
Yes.
Daja's a lesbian.
Okay.
And she takes a lover in one of the books. I don't know which
I hope not this series, unless there's a big time jump.
No, I can't remember if it's the second series or the third series.
Jesus.
And then I think Briar is pansexual.
I love that for him.
And then Briar and Rosethorn, strictly platonic, because Rosethorn and Lark are in love.
Yes.
So there's no, weird creeping going on.
Thank God.
Why
did she do that? Why did she do that?
She has an older guy kink. That's why.
Okay, but Numer was 20. That is not good.
Do you want to know the age difference between Alana and George? Because you're not going to like it either.
Talked about it. I remember we talked about it. Wasn't he around when she was born?
No.
Oh, okay.
He was the king of thieves, and she was a page when they met. So he was 19 and she was 12 when they met.
I mean, but they didn't start dating then.
No, he was a little possessive when she was 14 and she was sleeping with King John.
Okay.
Like, and John's also older than Alana.
Okay.
And then she, like, when she's, like, doing some questing stuff when she's, like, 18, she's, like, shacking up with some guy who's, like, 30.
Okay.
She has a kink. Don't even let me get me started on Allie, Alana's daughter. Spoiler, she ends up with a bird man.
Nice.
A man who was once a bird and is now a man.
Oh, wait, I think I remember you telling me about that.
Because it's horrific. I'm still traumatized. Because there's
Wait,
a short...
no, I'm thinking of that episode of Rick and Morty.
No. Okay, so she published a bunch of short stories. This is way off topic. I'm so sorry if you guys have no idea what I'm talking about. But she published a book of short stories that take place in tall books, and one of them is like an epilogue to Allie's 2 books, which people don't like because they're like a huge white savior narrative, and it's about how after her and her bird husband get married, she's pregnant and she ends up having triplets, and there's this horrific scene. The first 2 come out normal. The third one, the midwife has to reach inside of her and pull it out.
And it's a bird?
No, the child has dwarfism and I believe is blind. And you have to read, and also all of this is from the POV of the bird husband. and the bird husband is just like, I must kill this child. And there's like some eugenic stuff that happens. And I'm just like, what is going on? And then he ends up accepting the child and like holds the child out to his bird people, the birds. The crows, because he was a crow. They're all out in the trees, because apparently he's the king of the crows. And he, like, shows off.
How is he turned into a human?
He gets magicked into a human.
Oh my god.
And she marries him! God. She fucks the bird man!
But he's like a human?
Yes, he's like...
He's a human, but he was a bird. That's not weird.
He was a human who was a bird, and he's not really that, he can talk bird. And I think, like, he might have feathers. I can't really remember. So, yeah.
Well.
I can't hear you, Haley.
Oh, shit. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
That's so weird. When I turn my volume down on my phone, it turns my microphone down.
Sorry, I was getting a little heated. But no. And then, like, the Becca Cooper books, I think they also have, like, there's, like, a big misdirect in those books because you think she's going to end up with this one dude. But then, like, out of left field comes another dude. And, like, there's a whole scene where you have to read about him smuggling things into a prison in his butt. And I was like, I didn't need to read about this. I did not have to read about this, Tamora.
This like, woman. Her mind, dude.
Her mind.
Oh man.
The Kel books, there's a couple love interests who are very age appropriate, but Kel's just like, I'm Ace. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah. So what's next? Yeah, Night of the Living Author. I don't know. I always loved Dana Numera. I still ship them to this day. I know it's a little weird, but you know. Wasn't my best.
It is
life.
what it is.
It is what it is.
What it is.
That's not how it is. So, rate that book. Like a 7.
Yeah, I'll give it a 7.5.
Yeah.
Or an 8. I really liked it. Like I can't not like it, but
I was just
wasn't as good as the last one.
I was a little bored.
Yeah.
How believable was the magic? Magic very good.
The magic is very good. I like that it took a more solid form, this book, I felt like, and it was easier for me to follow.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know what the deal with their magic bodies are. Like, are they humanoid? Are they just...
I don't think so.
Balls of energy? That's their magic? I don't know.
I think it's, like, their vibes.
It's their vibes.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Uh,
no, I thought it was definitely improved this one, just as far as like following it and reading it on the page.
yeah, valid. Would we let our middle school selves read this book? Yeah, absolutely.
For
Nothing weird
sure.
happened in it. Nothing weird happened in this book.
uh,
Yes. So tune in next week when we read Daja's book, book 3 in the Circle of Magic.
yes.
Yeah, it sounds like it'll be fun. You know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it will. I'm excited.
I am too. Follow us on social media. Just look up We Majored in English for this. Follow me personally on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at KJane0696. I have some hot e-girl content right now. I'm not actually an e-girl, but wouldn't it be fun if I was?
It would. I feel like it'd be fun if I had an aesthetic, but I kind of just put clothes on my body, you
I
know?
realized the other day I only own blouses and slacks. When did I become such an adult?
Ugh, yikes.
I know. I wear blouses, slacks, and loafers. Who am I?
uh, I've just started wearing like jeans that aren't blue jeans and just calling those nice pants to work.
I own like 15 different pairs of black pants. Anyways, it is time to go.
It
I have to
is.
go to the bathroom. So we'll catch you next week, everyone.
Okay. Oh, I'm gonna go do something. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
I'm
have no idea.
oversharing my bathroom problems. Bye.
Okay, goodbye.